what I was doing with my clients was more around the graphic design and, you know, the logo and those kind of things. But actually what I really wanted to get to was to the heart and soul of the brand, of the person, of the business.
Today's guest is someone who's joined me before, and I know some of you have heard her speak before, and I'm so glad that you're back, because not only is she back by popular request, because she shares such great tips and advice on her expert topic, but she's also such a genuinely lovely person too. So it's just so nice to have her back on. Now, Aarti Parmar is an award-winning brand strategist. And she has a proven track record in helping coaches and businesses to build their brand and to look at their brand. Yeah, it's much more than just a logo. And to build their sort of brand identity in alignment with their true values. So today, in today's session, Aarti is going to share her personal journey in becoming a coach and coaching around this particular area. But she's also going to share some insights into this fascinating topic, along with some brilliant branding exercises. So I hope you guys have got all of your business coaching journals and your pens, because you are going to need it today. She's going to be sharing some fantastic stuff. I'm also really excited to say that Aarti has kindly agreed to deliver another branding workshop for us here at the Coaching Academy, and you saw that earlier. So she's going to also share a little bit about what she's going to be covering in that fantastic training day as well later this month. Now, I will say that spaces on that workshop are limited, because Aarti really likes to ensure that she has the time to work with your personal branding in an interactive way. So what she shares is going to be very interactive on that workshop. So please make sure you use that link and you don't miss out on our special Coaching Conversations discount code today. So as you can imagine, another session packed with practical tips, nuggets of inspiration. So I am so excited to introduce a fellow coach, expert brand strategist, and all-round lovely person. And now, my friend, Aarti Parmar. Welcome, Aarti. It's so lovely to have you back with us at Coaching Conversations.
It's lovely to be back. As you know, that I get so excited when it's about the Coaching Academy and anything to do with Coaching Academy and the coaching conversation. So thank you for having me back. Hello, everyone.
Oh, wonderful. So Aarti's got loads to share. Please do pop any questions in the chat box, and we will come back to them at the end of the session, because I'm not going to sort of interrupt Aarti's flow, because it may well be that she's going to answer your question as her session goes on today. But I will keep an eye on that chat box, and I know Darren will keep an eye on it for us too as well. Now, Aarti, I always start, as you know, asking all of my guests about their journey becoming a coach. So if you don't mind sort of starting there, because there will be people that haven't heard that story. So you trained with us here at the Coaching Academy a while ago now, but why did you choose to become a coach?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I never get tired of sharing this story, because it is, you know, it's my journey, it's my story in that sense. So I actually started my business. I started off as a graphic designer, and I started that business, I think now over 6 years ago. And when I started that business, about 3 or 5 months into the business, I was having a coffee. I was doing my one-to-ones with people, you know, networking, building relationships and all of those kind of things. And the person I was actually having coffee with was Peter Goodman, who is now Pam Lidford's husband. And we had connected on Facebook, and he was just saying, oh, I really like you know, the stuff that you put on your Facebook. My at that time partner, you know, loved all that kind of stuff, and you know, and I was like, oh, okay, what does she do? And he said coaching, and I was like, oh, what's coaching? I've never really had come across it before. So he told me about it. He shared a link. It was the 2-day course, the free, you know, 2 free-day course you could go on with, and that time it was in person. And I think, I don't know, I might have even just been halfway through the day, and I was just already like, oh my goodness, this needs to be part of my life. You know, this what it can do for me, what it can do for my clients. And I did the following day, and I got even more and more enthused by the power of coaching and what it can do for you, not only as an individual, but also as a business owner. And it was also something that I felt was actually missing within me. I was kind of, what I was doing with my clients was more around the graphic design and the logo and those kind of things. But actually what I really wanted to get to was to the heart and soul of the brand, of the person, of the business. And coaching really allowed me to get more insight, have more depth. But most importantly, what it did for me, and what I wanted, what it does for my clients, is to have that inner ownership, that inner alignment and ownership of who you are as a brand. Because I've seen it many a times. People, you can have the best branding, the best gorgeous website and stuff like that, but if it doesn't really have any kind of substance and essence to it, and you as an individual aren't aligned to it, there's going to be a big disconnect in what you're saying, how you're showing up, how you're communicating it. So yeah, that's when I combined sort of the brand world with the coaching world, that's where I'm at now.
Oh, fantastic. And I can really hear the passion in your voice when you're talking about it. And I just love the words that you were using, sort of like essence and soul and values and all of those, really sort of align with me. And I think, sort of coaching really took me to a place where I felt I could be me for the very first time. I could be authentic in myself. And it sort of sounds like that's where you coach business owners to get with their brand.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I always sort of say, are you running a business or are you building a meaningful brand? And to understand that meaningful side, it is about going inwardly. So, that's very much in terms of what I do, helping them to define their brand. And when they have that defined brand, it is a game changer, in that sense.
So powerful, so powerful. Now, I know also that you won an award since we were last had the pleasure of your company. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that was very, very exciting. So that was with Enterprise Nation. So I'm an advisor over there, and I got an email saying that would you like to enter this award as an advisor. And I also saw it was one of those awards where you have to get other people to vote for you. And if I'm really honest, it kind of put me off. I was just like, I'm not too sure about those kind of, awards. And, you don't know how many people other people know, and it could be more of a popularity kind of thing. And I wrote back saying that, and they were like, no, actually, we do have judges. That is part of it. But we also do have judges looking at your answers and stuff like that. And I thought, okay, yeah, give it a go. And I wrote very sort of honestly about how I felt about asking people to vote for me. And I kind of just said, look, if you feel like I have over the years in some way added value, you've enjoyed a talk, a seminar, a workshop, anything that, you've attended, then, I'd love for you to feel free to vote kind of thing. And yeah, and then I got the news that I was a winner. And it was just, what I guess a little bit of the win for me was actually is the fact that there are, when you build relationships and the kind of support that people want to celebrate you. That was a bit of a big win for me in that sense, having that realization of actually people do want to celebrate you. They do want to, see you win and all of these kind of things. So it was a lot easier than I thought in my mind, actually.
It's funny, isn't it? Those sabotaging thoughts, those limiting beliefs are still there, aren't they? Even when we're qualified coaches, it's really interesting. I'd like to just sort of change track a little bit before I ask you to share all the wonderful tips that I know that you have. I think it's just really important sort of to be sort of addressing the elephant in the room, and that that's COVID. I hope I sort of not put you on the spot really here with this one, but I just thought it might be sort of helpful to people sort of out there, maybe who have, newly qualified or have been a coach for a little while. And, we hear so much about COVID. How has your approach to branding or coaching people around branding changed over the past 22 months of COVID?
Yeah. Well,
or maybe it's not, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was just going to actually come into, do you know what, the fact that we've got all this technology available to us, I'm just going to speak from my own personal experience. You know, before I'd do a lot of one-to-one workshops or go into organizations and, you know, run my brand discovery workshops and stuff like that. When COVID hit, it turned to, you know, delivering these workshops on Zoom. So for me, what I've observed with a lot of businesses that I've worked with, or, you know, I network with, and even just externally, ones who I don't know and they don't know me personally, is when you have a strong purpose, a real strong brand purpose, and, you know, you really believe in that, it's not, you know, you don't allow these obstacles to come in the way, and, you know, you figure things out, you find ways to sort of, right, okay, how can I still deliver what it is that I want to do? So just for example, there's a yoga teacher lady that I know. She was doing everything, you know, in person, yoga classes and stuff like that. Overnight, obviously, everything changed for her. And I kid you not, she created a whole online experience within 3 days, had zero idea of technology. You know, she was like really scared of it. And she really, for me, what I saw was her purpose, her why, her drive, whatever you want to call it, you know, what makes her tick, why she exists as a business was so strong, like the well-being of her clients, that, you know, she removed those obstacles. And, you know, she was just like, right, I still want to deliver yoga classes. Now she's got a thriving, you know, online business delivering her yoga classes. So yeah, you know, it's about finding the ways. When you have that sort of real strong drive and you know that you can make a difference in people's lives, you find a way.
Fantastic. And a good strong branding, well, I'm guessing also, as in the coaching industry, helps a coach to stand out in their chosen niche, or, you know, heads and shoulders above other coaches. You know, it's there's a lot of noise out there, isn't there? So having a strong brand sounds like it's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I mean, let's face it, what I'm doing, brand strategy, design, coaching, there are certain fields that is a lot more saturated than others, but in no way should that stop you. In fact, you know, the way I see it is, the more coaches, the more brand strategists that there are out there in the world, then, you know, there's going to be more fulfilled people living their purpose. And we can't, as individuals, serve billions of people anyway, you know. So I very much believe that, you know, one, you are not for everyone and everyone is not for you. You know, you'll attract certain people and be drawn to certain people, and certain people will be drawn to you. And two, you know, there's always going to be someone to, there's always a business to help. There's always an individual to you know, to help in that sense.
Yeah, fantastic. And as we grow and develop as people and as coaches, sometimes things shift as well, don't they? Now, I know, you know, you're obviously delivering that brilliant branding workshop for us again, as you know, as part of our Business in a Box masterclass series to support, you know, our student coaches and our graduate coaches. So what I'm going to do is I usually finish by asking all of my guests to share, you know, a little bit about what to expect, but also a practical tip to take away that people can sort of use in their coaching business. But I know you've got lots of tips. So what I'm going to do, if it's all right with you, I'm going to pass over to you, and I'm just going to give sort of the next 25, 30 minutes over to you, Aarti, and let you sort of work your magic in only you can. That would be wonderful.
So yes, today, thank you again. So today is very much what I thought I would share. You know, I come across business owners all the time through networking. I'm delivering talks and stuff like that. So today I thought I'd share, you know, brand building questions answered. I've put the most probably common questions that I do get asked, and I'm going to sort of talk into them a bit more and give you, you know, hopefully some insight there. So as Sharon mentioned, I'm certified. I'm also a certified brand strategist. So you mentioned about sharpening your saw. So yeah, that's something, you know, I've been doing, and I've just done recently. founder of my business, AP Brand Communications Limited, and as Sharon mentioned, got awarded, and I've worked with hundreds of businesses in creating authentic and meaningful brands. And if you don't know already by now, I live, walk, talk, and breathe brand. So yes, as you can tell, very, very passionate about that, because I do feel like, when you mindfully define your brand, then you can use it with intent, joy, and impact. And at the end of the day, when you have a business, that's what you want to do, and be able to enjoy running the business. So right, I'm just going to share the questions that I'm going to be talking through today. So one is, why do I even need a brand? What are the most important considerations when it comes to creating a strong brand for your business? How does personal branding differ from business branding? How long does it take to build a brand? And how do I get known on a shoestring budget? So you can see there's a variety of different questions. So hopefully, like I said, this will give you a bit of insight on what to sort of think about in that sense. So let's get started with this first question. Why do I even need a brand? Often get, oh, but I'm a one-person business. Why do I even need a brand? Let me share a bit more. So Sharon actually mentioned this earlier. We are in a noisy market. With digital platforms, technology available to us, people have a lot more choice. They have a lot more accessibility to businesses, to coaches in that sense. They're able to go on to Google, they're able to do much more research, and they've got a lot more knowledge available to them, to make these kind of decisions of who to work with, who's going to be able to help me with these challenges, these pain points that I'm having. And they can, what's available online is like, not just one option. Like I said, there's a fair few different options in that sense. And I would say consumers are much more aware and conscious of who they are purchasing from, especially more also for the product brand. Where is this being sourced from? Where is this made? How is it being made? So consumers are becoming a lot more conscious in that way as well. So the business is not just only people aren't just wanting services and products. They actually are connecting. They want to connect to an identity, and that identity is actually brand. It's your brand. It's brand in general. So you've got the business which delivers the product and service. And then then the brand is what's packaged around it. That's the identity around the business that people actually connect to in that sense. So coming back to, why do I even need a brand? It helps you therefore then it clarifies what you actually stand for. It provides clear positioning. So, like I said earlier, you're not for everyone and everyone is not for you, but you need to know who you are for, so then you can start positioning them yourself in front of those kind of people that you would best serve. It helps you to build trust, credibility, and rapport. I mean, if you just even think about the brands that you are very loyal to, why are you loyal to them? They, in some way or another, they've built trust, credibility, and rapport with you for you to keep going back to them, or for you to even have chosen them in the first place. It starts to shape shapes and informs your communication when you've got that identity, the understanding of who you are as a brand, which I'll go into a little bit later on. That really then starts shaping and informing your communication. So you're not just putting anything and everything out there and hoping to like throw darts in the dark, as I like to say. It attracts your ideal audience to you. This is really key, and I find a lot of businesses, especially startups, they don't want to take the time to really understand their ideal audience, because they're so excited and enthused about, right, I've got a new business and I want to get it out there and get my website and my logo done. But actually, one of the really key things is understanding your audience, so then your communication really actually speaks to them. It differentiates you in the marketplace. Helps you stay focused and aligned. So coming back to even that differentiates you in the marketplace, there's a whole variety of different niches in coaching that you can go down, and that's going to help you to differentiate. So if you're looking for an executive coach, you probably search executive coach. If you're looking for a spiritual coach, if you're looking for a mindset coach, it starts helping people to differentiate you from other coaches in the market. it connects deeply with your audience when you really get that understanding, and they start seeing, okay, this is what you're about, this is what you stand for, this is the kind of people that you've helped previously. I can see the testimonials, I can see through your communications, you are very focused towards executives, for example. It starts connecting more with your audience. So I always like to say, the progress of your business is determined by the understanding of your brand. Right, so the next question: what are the most important considerations when it comes to creating a strong brand for your business? So what I would actually like to firstly share is this very well-known quote by Jeff Bezos, which is, your brand is what other people say about you when you're not in the room. I like to take that a couple of steps back and get you to think, actually, a brand is a combination of created perceptions. And it is those perceptions that form beliefs in people's minds about your business, your brand, about what you do, and all of those kind of things. So it's those beliefs that then when they do walk out of the room, that's what they are thinking. That's what they are thinking about when you've created these intentional perceptions that have formed these beliefs. So you really actually need to think about, what do I want them to think? What do I want them to think about when they do walk out of the room, about my business, about my brand, and really take it from that perspective and sort of think, right, okay, what do I then need to be doing in order to create these perceptions? And like I said, it is a combination. It's not just one thing that you'd be doing. It's a whole variety of different things. It could be from the way you show up at networking, to emailing, to how you deliver a talk, to the content you're putting out there. So it's a variety and a combination of different perceptions that forms beliefs about your brand. So when it comes to actually creating, a strong brand for your business, it's about having a solid and a really good brand foundation. So this consists of a few different things. So one is to actually, define the identity of your brand. If your brand is the identity, then what is that identity? And you need to understand what it stands for, what it wants to be known for, what's its purpose, its vision. What are you working towards? With the whole sort of Stephen, Covey, begin with the end in mind, right? What are you working towards? I remember when I first started my business, I actually wasn't really working towards, and this is obviously before I got into coaching, I wasn't really working towards something. I was working towards chasing another sale to invoice. That isn't growing a business. That isn't building a meaningful brand. So, really understanding your own sort of milestones, achievements that you want to achieve through your business, the kind of people you want to, impact, how many, there's so many different things, in vision, and what growth means for you. It means different things to different people. Really understanding your brand values, because, at the end of the day, that's what's going to determine your actions and behaviors as a brand. That's what people are going to be going away with when they go out of that room. That's what they're going to get, an essence of that. There is another saying, your brand is a gut feeling about your product, service, and organization. So how do these gut feelings actually come about? It comes about from defining the brand and then living them through your purpose, vision, values, personality, really understanding your positioning and the other key differentiators that make a brand a brand. And this is what in the brand masterclass that I'll be delivering in May, this is what we are really going to be honing more into, because like I say, without a solid brand foundation, it can just feel a little bit all over the place. You'll have like, I feel really demotivated, uncertain, and all of these kind of things. Whereas when you've got, a sense of purpose, you've got a sense of meaning, you've got your vision and all of these different things in place, and you know who your ideal audience is and how you want to position yourself, it just, equips you with a lot more understanding on how you're going to, drive your business forward. Right. The next thing is, be clear on your product or service. I guess, as coaches, it's going to probably be more services. You may have a group program, you may have the one-to-one, you may have masterclasses, or whatever it is. But whatever it is, it needs to be really truly understood and tailored for the people that you actually want to be helping, be serving, helping them to have the transformation. So really delving deeper into what is it, who is it for, Why should people buy it? Understand who needs help with solving the problems that you can solve with it. Again, like I said, people rush to getting the logo and website done, but it's these things that, you know, that does need a lot of sort of thought around, because it just makes your communication journey easier, your marketing journey easier, because, you know, you're much more in sync with what it is that you are saying. And then the last bit here is actually thought out branding. And so, you know, there's brand and there's branding. So two different things. Brand is, like I said, you know, what you stand for, what it wants to be known for, your why, and all of those kind of things. And the branding is the visual representation, is the representation through words and visuals that is aligned with your brand. A lot of people, like I say, go to this sort of, oh, I want to get my logo done, and then I'll start posting on social media. And it's you know, it doesn't quite have that, you know, sort of substance to it, and eventually you'll hit a roadblock and it'll be like, oh, where am I heading with all this? Because you went out with a nice logo and color palette, that kind of thing. I always, it surprises me when people come to me, their concern is like, I don't know what color palette to use. And I'm like, okay, what's your purpose and what's your vision and what's your values? You know, get to that bit first. Color palette will come, logo will come, because when you've got that true understanding of the identity of the brand, then it's easier to create the branding side of things. So, you know, this is like the logo, the visual identity system, you know, collaterals, if you've got packaging, the messaging side, imagery, you know, your proposals and all of those kind of things, you can then be translated into the branding side of things. Right. And that is what will then help you to have, you know, having those things, it will help you to have that clarity. It will help you to have certainty. You'll feel more energized because now you know where, you know, where you're coming from, you know why you're doing what you're doing, you're excited by it, and you know that you can be making a difference in people's lives. This isn't just, like I say, about running a business, it's also about building a meaningful brand. It helps you get focused, and most importantly, you know, you're fulfilled because you're doing what you love, you've identified that, and you know that you're making a difference in other people's lives. So therefore you are running and building your brand and using it with intent, joy, and impact. So let's go on to the next question, which is which I often get asked, which is around how does personal brand differ from business brand? So I've got some examples here of personal and business, and I'm sure, you know, you've seen some of these faces. I'm familiar with them. So let's go into firstly the personal brand part of it. And you know, the word personal, I mean, it's kind of there already. It's when you sort of look in the word personal, persona, and that's very much about what personal brand is. You know, it's the person, it's the individual, it's you. You know, it's you, it's your persona, it's your expertise, it's your knowledge, it's your journey, it's your experiences that makes you who you are. And that's what people are going to be buying into. So then you start building, you know, your own personal reputation, which then starts becoming, you know, your personal brand. So it's very much about positioning yourself in that sense. When it comes to business brand, that's what you're delivering. That's the, you know, the product, the service, and then also the identity of that business brand, which holds the values and the purpose and promise and the culture. So, you know, if you imagine businesses that are, you know, that has a team and they're attracting like-minded people that they would like to work with the business, they can go out and share, you know, these are our values, this is our purpose, this is our mission, this is what we are working towards. Are you on board with us? And, you know, it's an easier way to then, you know, get the right people to work with you. And also, I've worked with, you know, individuals, and it also comes back down to actually the next thing that I'm going to share here. I often get asked, but which one should I be working on? And the answer to this, it really does depend on your vision and your growth goals and, you know, your purpose and these kind of things, simply because, you know, I've worked with individuals, and when they've come to me first, when they've started their business, they are a one-person business, but their vision is like, we want to grow, you know, an agency, I want to grow an academy, those kind of things. You know, so they know that they are going to be growing into that space, but they're going to be first and foremost working on their personal brand and, you know, getting the connections, building up their reputation, but knowing that they are working towards a space or building a business with a team, You know, we've also then sort of looked at the naming, because it's like, actually, they don't want to just go out as a personal brand and that's their growth, that they do want to, you know, hire people. It's going to be, you know, running with other people. So just to give you an example with myself, when I started my business, from day one, I always knew I wanted to lead with my personal brand, and that my growth intentions were always there, to build, you know, really solid relationships, to be seen as the expert, and, you know, the authority, well, the expert in my field. And it was, I've got my business brand name, which is AP Brand Communications, but that's not what I lead with. That's more for the bigger organizations that I work with. You know, it's there. But for me, it's always been lead with Aarti Parmar, personal brand, you know, brand strategist, coach, and that's what's helped me to pull in new opportunities, new inquiries, new job, yeah, new projects and stuff like that. So that's always been my positioning. My growth goals haven't been like, I want to start an agency. So, you know, understanding where you are working towards will help with that. You know, so just examples of, you know, personal brands here. We've got obviously Bev James, you know, CEO of the Coaching Academy. She's been building her personal brand for quite some time. Then you've got, you know, someone like Stephen Bartlett, and although he has his, you know, agency, you know, we see him on Dragon's Den, we see him on LinkedIn. He's been building his persona. He attracts new opportunities. Richard Branson, you know, he doing great in the sense that his personal brand on Twitter, Instagram has more following than Virgin actually does as a business brand. So, you know, the importance of you building your personal brand, especially as coaches, people are connecting with you. They want to work with you, you know, that you're the person that's going to help them to take them from A to B transformation. So, you know, personal brand for coaches, it's massive. It's massive. So, and there's ways of, you know, building out your personal brand. You know, you're talking about introverts earlier, Sharon. I'm an introvert, and, you know, what I've learned to do is dial it up and down when and as I need to sort of step in and out of being an introvert. But what leads me to come out of my introvert is my purpose. You know, I want to, for me, it's to educate and empower business owners to mindfully define their brand and use it with intent, joy, and impact. That's what fulfilled me. When I'm doing that, I know that I can dial in and out of my, you know, the introvert, and when the self-sabotaging thing comes in and stuff like that. Okay, so next question is, how long does it take to build a brand? You know, I get this asked fairly often. You know, it's like, oh, it feels so hard, you know, I'm running a business, how long will it take, and all of that kind of thing. And I'm sorry, but I've got a bit of a spoiler alert. It's for as long as you are in business. There is no time frame to building a brand. You know, we know all these like well-known brands to us, Nike, Tony Robbins, Marie Forleo. They didn't sort of, you know, hit their growth target, whether that's financial, whether that's, you know, number of people they impacted. They wasn't like, right, I'm going to stop now, that's it, I'm done. Again, they're leading with such a strong purpose. You know, for Nike, it's to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are an athlete. So for them, that purpose is timeless. All of their purposes are probably, you know, timeless in that sense. So yeah, sorry about that. There isn't a time frame to how long it takes to build a brand, but for as long as you're in business, you've got a fantastic, you know, purpose, vision, values, and all of those kind of things. You are going to, you know, continue to want to, you know, do what you do best in that sense. Right. So this other final question is, how do I get known on a shoestring budget? You know, I get it. There's lots, you know, when you're starting a business, lots to take into consideration, different costs and stuff like that. And, you know, you want to do it well, you know, just sometimes piecing stuff together. And I've seen it with other clients where, you know, they are trying to cut corners and save costs and stuff like that. And then, you know, 6 months or a year down the line, they still haven't got their business up and running because, you know, they went through 4 graphic designers and, you know, or they got something off Canva and then they realized somebody else has exactly the same logo. And, you know, it's instead of sort of propelling them forward, it's hindered their growth in that sense. So, you know, I do get it. There's going to be costs and stuff, but then there are also amazing tools available to us out there. So I'm going to go through some of these, and some of what I'm sharing here are just some of the things that actually have helped me. So I'm just going to go through some of these things. Some of them are probably quite obvious. So social media, oh my goodness, it's a free platform. It's a free platform. Utilize it, but utilize the channels that do work for you, where your audience are. You don't need to be every single platform. And this is what I mean about, understanding your audience, really getting understanding where are they, what are they, what channels or platforms are they using, and utilize them. They're there to be used. I've grown my network. I've got more opportunities as a result of showing up with consistency, showing up with what it is that I want to be actually known for. And that's how I've even ended up on coaching conversations and running brand masterclasses. I think we met on Twitter or something, Sharon. We've followed each other and stuff like that, and now here I am. So you just don't know what kind of opportunities can come about from social media. Another place is Facebook groups. There's dime a dozen Facebook groups that you can be part of, and there's a lot of business ones now as well, where some of these groups they'll have days or where you can say, right, they'll say, right, what's your business, tell us a bit about you, share your links. This is all great ways to raise brand visibility, to raise awareness about who you are, what you do, for people to connect with you, and it's free. Attend free networking groups. Since the pandemic, I've noticed there are a lot more networking groups that are available, either really low cost or free. There's variety. I'm in networking groups that I do pay a fair amount for, but I'm also get that kind of return from it in that sense as well. But there are, when I started out, I was attending free networking groups, and it was a great way to build relationships. At the end of the day, a business needs people in terms of who you're going to be serving, and where do these people come from? They can come from different connections that you're making through networking, through your family and friends, and all of these kind of places. So building those relationships is really, really key, and that nicely leads me into actually engage with people and be active. Right now you may be like, well, I don't have my business set up, and why would I be posting on social media and going into these Facebook groups or going networking even? What you can do is actually start building these relationships in the background. So get onto LinkedIn, see what people are posting about, and if you feel like you can add a nice valuable opinion to that, add a bit more of an expert thing, or share something. If you're in, I don't know, if you're in health coaching, and there's a tip that you can add into a thread or conversation, stuff like that. This is a great way as well of building relationships, engaging with people, being active. There is this guy actually, and I think he's a great example. Can't exactly remember his name, but he's just starting his journey into brand strategy, and even on his bio he's put wannabe brand strategist or something like that. And he's like, I'm starting my journey. And what he does, he looks at the posts by other brand strategists, and then he puts his sort of spin on it, and and he'll say, I really learned something from this post, and this is what I learned. So there's different ways of going about raising your brand visibility, raising your personal brand in that sense. You can do an exchange of services. When I first started my business, I needed nice photography done for my website, and the photographer needed logo and branding and stuff done. So we did an exchange of services. So we said, well, this is what this would be worth. This is what this would be worth. You make sure you have that conversation so it is fair. And as a result of that, I loved what she did for me. She loved what I did for her. We met in a free Facebook group, and we were able to go in there. We gave each other testimonials, and as a result of that, she got new business, I got new business, because it is also about showcasing what it is that you can do when people believe what you put out there. So when people start seeing that, okay, she's got great results for this business, or she can deliver what she says she can, that kind of thing, it starts building credibility in people's mind, and that comes back to that trust factor as well. Provide talks and do webinars. You've got to remember, you're the expert in your field, in your subject matter. So if you are at a networking group, for example, and they're like, right, we've got 10-minute speaker slots, put your hand up. This is an opportunity to showcase what your expertise is, and remembering that, you know, you've becoming a coach, or have become a coach because you truly believe that you can help somebody, you know, personally in their life in some way or another. So by sharing certain expertise and knowledge and stuff, this is what's going to help you to, you know, get people to you know, believe what it is that you do, and that you do deliver that. Which also nicely brings me into the educate part. So, you know, even for example, like I said, if you haven't set up your coaching business, you can still educate. You know, you can still educate around your subject matter. You can be sharing tips. You can, you know, 5 ways to do this, or 5 reasons this, or you know, there's always stuff on Instagram where you've got, you know, what do you call it? I don't know, growth mindset and fixed mindset. Yeah, but be a bit more creative than that. That's been a bit overdone. But, you know, just things of how can you educate your audience, so then they actually are like, oh, that person really knows what they're talking about. And they may not be like, right, I want to work with you straight away, but what you are doing, you're planting seeds. So then when eventually it does come to needing mindset coaching, you're going to be on their radar. They're going to start thinking of you because you've already built this trust and rapport in their mind of like, oh yeah, I remember when she wrote about that, or yeah, that article was really good, and that kind of thing. I've actually found clients or clients have come to me this way, following me on LinkedIn for 5 years. He's like, oh, I want to do a rebrand. I was like, okay, great. How did you come across me? Oh, I followed you on LinkedIn for the last 5 years. I was like, oh, I've never seen you like or comment on any post. He's like, yeah, no, I'm a lurker. You know, I don't post on anyone's post, but I knew when I needed to do a rebrand and do a brand discovery workshop, you were going to be the person that I went to. It's from the content that I've posted. It's what I planted in his mind through my content that built up that trust for him to then be like, Aarti Parmar. Yeah. So educate as much as you can, because, you know, a lot of people don't know what you know in that sense. Collaborations is another great way of creating awareness and, you know, reaching more people. So, you know, you see what's complementary to your coaching, you know, practice. So there may be somebody who's in business coaching and somebody who's in brand coaching. You know, I'm not sure, but, you know, you can see if there's sort of certain collaborations that could work, and you deliver something together. That's another great way of reaching each other's audiences as well. So something that's complementary, you know, not kind of stepping on each other's toes and stuff like that. So for you, what it is, you know, you need to make yourself visible to attract chances. And these are just some, you know, sort of shoestring ways of being able to do that. And to be honest, even if you're not on a shoestring budget, these are just great ways to build relationships, build rapport, get known, that credibility piece, you know, position you in the way that you would like to be known and positioned. So coming to an end, your goal as a business is actually to integrate your brand into every aspect of your business and communications. So that's it. Thank you. Hope that's been useful.
Ah, amazing, as always. Those take just so much away. And it's really interesting. I was sort of smiling at a lot of that as we were going through, because you're right. I was the lurker. So I'd followed you for ages on Twitter, and one of those business sort of things that they used to do on Twitter. I don't even go on Twitter anymore. So I was really interested. I followed you for ages, and then was going to come on some of your training. And neither of us were involved in the coaching academy, apart from the fact that we'd both trained, and neither of us knew that we'd done that. It's interesting who you meet, isn't it? Absolutely. And how those relationships come back up again. So when your name came up, when I was working at the coaching academy, I was like, I know this lady. Yeah, we definitely need her. We definitely need her.
Brilliant.
Interestingly, similarly with Darren and I, actually. So be careful if you get to know me, people, because you know, things happen sometimes. You might. But no, I mean, that's just so much information. Thank you so much. You always give so freely and so honestly and so willingly from all of the conversations that we've had like this, and also personally. as well. And there's so much love coming for you in the chat box as well.
Thanks very much for watching. Hoping you found the content today really, really useful. Look out for more tools, resources, videos from the Coaching Academy, and enjoy. See you soon.